Greetings, Lux lovers! Welcome or welcome back. Here we believe in intentional luxury and we're not afraid to invest in pieces that will work for us. So if that resonates with you, then please consider subscribing and stay a while. Well, I hope you enjoyed my previous unboxing video for the star of the show today, and it is my new shoulder Birkin, and today we're going to do one of my typical thorough deep dives. And previously I've done videos like this on my mini garden party and my mini herb bag. So today we're going to do a rundown of my newest addition, the Shoulder Birkin Light 29. So grab that fancy Hermès mug of tea and let's begin. So here she is in all of her glory. I still sometimes cannot believe that this is my bag. If I don't go out on a day, I will sometimes just put her on top of my dresser and just admire her. The formal name for this bag is the Hermès Shoulder Birkin Light 29, and the leather is in Evercolor in the color gold with gold hardware. And again, it is just 1 centimeter shy of a Birkin 30, for example. I'll give you a quick tour. It has your typical Birkin hardware and stamp with the sangles. And as you can see, here is the inside. It has one large flat pocket in the front, and it has one business card size pocket in the back. You can actually stretch it out a lot. Here you can see that pocket a little bit better. But fully leather lined, this isn't Verso, so it's the same color on the inside than it is on the outside. And one of the things I just wanted to note was that there was a lot of wrinkling on the side, and you can kind of still see it here, but I found that if I just kind of press from the inside with my finger, you can actually just kind of buff the wrinkles out or massage it out. So I don't think it is a major issue. It just might have been the way that the bag was stored in transit. But these bags are handmade, so there's bound to be variance in all of them. At least I will always know which one is mine. So I brought my measuring tools, and if I put this down, it's about 1.53 pounds. And that's 696 grams for those who use grams, or 24.55 ounces. But at about 1.5 pounds, you know, it's not a light bag. And then today I brought one of my regular rulers, and these rulers are about 31 centimeters anyway. So you can kind of see that, but if you wanted a general reference, it's a little bit smaller than a regular American ruler. And then in terms of strap drop, I would estimate it at about 14.5 centimeters, or we're talking 5.5 inches of strap drop. But as I'll demonstrate later, it doesn't quite go comfortably on the shoulder. That's what you'll want the bigger shoulder Birkins for. But this one is definitely perfect for a crook of the arm carry, or hand carry, or wrist carry. So let's talk a little bit about what fits. And before I start putting things in, I wanted to share that I was kindly gifted this organizer from Degaz, and we will open it up. They offered a insert for a different bag, but I asked them if they had one for the new Shoulder Birkin 29, and they said yes. So this is in their color gold, and I got that to match the inside. So let's just see, let's open it up together and see what it is like. It comes beautifully wrapped, and here is the code. And I actually really like the silky finish. I've tried a lot of different types of inserts over time, and there's just something about the silky that's just really nice and pleasing. So here we are, and let us see how it looks on the inside of my shoulder Birkin. So here we are. That looks pretty good. And honestly, I'm not sure if they custom made this or if they just had some ready to go, but it is nice and silky, and it has some good pockets. And what I like is I can still use the interior pocket native to the bag, as well as the additional pockets on the inside. Although the little pocket in the back is kind of covered up, but I probably wouldn't use that little pocket, to be honest. So this is looking pretty good. It even has side pockets here. And a word to the wise, I actually do not store my bags with inserts in it, because you can kind of see that this is being pushed out a little. But if I'm just going to use this and run around town and put stuff inside, I definitely want that liner inside in case anything leaks. So I think this is looking good. So let's talk about what fits. One reason why I knew that I would love the shoulder Birkin is that I just love the East-West style in general, and it will hold a ton without having the bulk of a full Birkin. So today I brought a hard-sided Bulgari case for my glasses, my card holder and my car keys, AirPods, and my phone. So as you can see, it definitely fits all of those right inside, and I still even have a lot more room in that top corner over here. Now, is it getting heavy? Yeah, kind of. It is getting heavy. And I even brought my Hermès notebook because I wanted to show if it would hold one of these. And that's not too bad. So as you can see, my Hermès notebook, which I think is an A5 size, will actually fit in here. So in case you wanted to take it to like a meeting or something, it is possible. So that's nice. But yes, it's definitely getting heavy. And so now I wanted to talk a little bit about how I would style this. And I actually brought a twilly and a bag charm so that you could see what that is like. And it's funny because I thought about would my twillies even fit, because the handle is so long, I could see a world where the twilly wouldn't be big enough. So this is my Space Derby twilly that I got at the Hermès sale earlier this year. And I'll put it on and let's just see what it looks like. I am definitely not the best twilly styler, but let's see what I can do under pressure. I usually like to start in the middle and then work my way down. All right, not terrible. I feel like this is as good as it's going to get, but this was just a regular size twilly and it definitely fits. I'm like a weird person where I don't actually like the look of two twillies on a handle. So this is what it looks like with one twilly on the front handle. And as you can see, the handles are so long, like there's still definitely more handle that I could have covered. But for a quick twilly tie, this is what it looks like. And I actually feel like the handles aren't that pronounced when it has a twilly on it. So you can dial up or down how long you want those handles to look. And to zhuzh it up even more, I brought with me this. And this is my Hermès rodeo that I had blinged out by Urban Bling. I'll link her Instagram below, but she is such a genius. And this is an authentic Hermès rodeo that I bought in the boutique. I sent it away with her and she blinged it up, and I love this. So we are just going to trick out my bag. So here is what it looks like. I really love how I have the stars on the twilly. I have the rhinestones blinging out from my rodeo. So this bag is ready to go out. You guys tell me, do you like the look with the twilly, without the twilly? But it is just so good with a bag charm, but just make sure your bag charm isn't so low that it's hanging off the bottom. But how cute is that? I'll keep the twilly on, but I took the rodeo off because I wanted to do color comparisons for you. First, this is a belt that I got in Paris last year, and I believe this is gold Epsom and gold hardware. So this is what this would look like styled here. And I'll put the belt on later when I do some mod shots. I just feel like that's such a good styling, and I really like how it looks popping off of my denim shirt. This is actually my Zip and Go Truce pouch that I got in Paris this year again. And this is Evercolor with the gold hardware on the Farandole zipper pull. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would have a shoulder Birkin to match, but this is a beauty. And actually it is the exact match to my shoulder Birkin, so hopefully you can see here that it is the same exact color, leather, and hardware. So what a dream. And in fact, that just fits so nicely in the bag. So I could put in some makeup, I could put in cash, whatever. This is so useful, and the fact that it just fits so effortlessly in the bag is great, and you don't even see it. And lastly, I have my gold on gold Constance to Go wallet, and I got this in Paris last year. Now this, you can see, is that Epsom leather. It's very textured. It has the pocket in the back, the beautiful gold H, and so when I compare it here, this is what it looks like. On screen, it definitely looks like the Evercolor is a bit richer, but you can definitely see the difference in the grain and the difference in the color. Ever so slightly. Which leather type do you guys prefer? I'm on the fence, but I feel like the Evercolor, I like how smooth it is while still having a bit of a grain. And if you're enjoying yourself so far, I'd love for you to consider subscribing. If you like extreme luxury product close-ups, thoughtful commentary, and Hermès unboxings practically every other week, then you've come to the right place. All right, now for some thoughts and mod shots. So I'll talk a little bit about the purchasing process for those who are interested. One random night, probably a week after my most previous shopping trip with my local SA, I got a text from my SA, and it went along the lines of, I have something that you might like, when can you come in? Now it's interesting to note this was around the first week of the month, So I'm wondering if maybe that's when the bags are coming in and when they're starting to divvy out the inventory. Just a thought, in my opinion. So of course I said yes, and then I made an appointment to come in the next day. And when it was my turn, she brought me into the changing room, which is where a lot of the bag presentations are done for smaller boutiques so that people aren't just swarming around you, which I definitely appreciate. So if this room's a workin', inside there's a Birkin. I was told to get my ID out before the box was brought in so that it could be checked by the manager, but the manager totally knew who I was and they skipped that process. And that's kind of why I really enjoy the local boutique process. It's like the show Cheers, where everybody knows your name. So then my SA brought it in and presented it to me, and I was so nervous because I didn't know like which bag it was going to be. And when she opened it with this color combo, I was completely floored. I immediately said yes. I took one picture, which I'll put up here, and we packed it up. I went outside, picked out my scarf, and then I paid and left. And in terms of just overall observations, I did get this in August. And oddly enough, that is when I also got my Birkin 35, my first ever quota bag 7 years ago. And I just wonder if we need to dispel the myth about August and how there's low stock because there's no artisans working. Because I don't believe for a second that they don't plan out inventory over the course of a year. Like, they're just a multi-billion-dollar business. So maybe we just need to stop stressing out about the month of August. In fact, arguably, it might be a good time to get bags because there's just a lull in traffic. So people just might not be shopping, so more bags might be available. Another thought, also, this is my first Birkin since my Birkin 25 from April 2021. And then I don't think I got any quota bag in 2022. And then I made my special order in 2023. And that's why 2024 was crazy, because I got my Kelly 25 in April. And then my special order came in at the end of the year. So it kind of all smooths out over time. But I think the biggest milestone is that this is my first quota bag from my local boutique. And I've been shopping in that store since 2023. So it really just took 2 years to really gain trust. But boy, when I got that trust, she delivered. And in fact, I'll do a whole separate video about that process, switching boutiques and building a rapport with a new SA. And while I don't count every penny of pre-spend, I'll link the video below where I officially announced that I was changing to my local SA. And then you can basically just look at my listing and see the subsequent boxings that brought me to present day. But you'll see my pre-spend, and like I said, it's basically every other week. But if I had to guess, I'd probably say it was a 2-to-1 spend over the course of 2 years, but that could also just be wishful thinking. So I know I did mod shots in the original unboxing video, but I figured I would do a few more for you to compare them with other bags in my collection. Here is what the bag looks like with that belt. I love how that looks. And now you can see what it looks like with a Twilly. And another bag in my collection, which is a popular East-West bag, is this, and it is my Coach Empire 34. And so I just wanted to show you what they look like together. Yes, they are technically both East-West bags, but you can see the Coach bag definitely has a way more pronounced handle, and it comfortably fits on the shoulder. So while this is what the Coach Empire looks like, this is what the Hermès Shoulder Birkin looks like. And the strap drop is a lot shorter. And obviously the Coach Empire is 34 centimeters, so it's about 5 centimeters longer than my Shoulder Birkin 29. In fact, I'll show you just how much longer it is so you can see. And then if you asked me, hey, how does this line up to the JPG original Birkin? That one I believe was 42 centimeters. And so here is one of my funny grocery bags that I got. So talk about manifesting. I bought this earlier in the year and then I got this, but this one is actually about 42 centimeters. The original Jean Paul Gaultier Birkin would be way bigger, where there's about 8 centimeters of extra width. So if I put this on my shoulder, pretending that this is a JPG Birkin, this is how big it would be, and then this is how big this one is. So if you can kind of imagine what it would be like if this was all Birkin, it's just a huge bag. And then another East-West bag that I got was this, and this is my Veronica Beard bag. This is now about 45 centimeters. It's also a huge East-West bag. I love this as like a casual bag, but as you can see, my Shoulder Birkin is way smaller than that. So again, if you want a huge East-West moment, you might want one of the older Birkins, but this is just kind of a modernized East-West. So who is this bag for? This bag is for fashionistas for sure. I think it's great for people who are petite, who don't want the full bulk of a full Birkin, and also for people who have like the basic quota bags down pat and you want to start venturing out into more fashionable, trendy bags. So make sure you have your core collection down first, and then you can start bringing in items like this, unless you just know you love a good East-West bag. And you also have to be able to withstand trends. So when this is no longer fashionable and nobody's carrying an East-West, you still have to know that in your heart of hearts, you're going to love this type of bag through thick and thin to ensure that you get your money's worth. And speaking of money's worth, let's talk about price. The price on this is totally crazy. I will be the first to admit. Now, this is not a blue box. It just came in a regular box, as you saw in my unboxing video, with the 2025 markup of about 10%. Post-tariff, the pricing was about $15,900. That is a lot of money for a bag. And if it was pre-tariff, it would have been around $14,000. And then if I got it in Paris, it would have been even less because I would have gotten VAT back. So I just share this with you because I want people to know when you put it on your wish list what to expect. Because be careful what you wish for, you might actually get it, and then you have to be prepared to come up with all this money. And I want to keep you from getting sticker shock. So thank you to those who stayed with me to the end. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this bag. I welcome you to follow me on Instagram if you'd like to see more of how I style this new baby, my day-to-day, and other luxury moments. If you've enjoyed this video, I invite you to go down the rabbit hole that is my luxury chit-chat playlist, and I'll put that link here. Please like it if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!